Good morning, family. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, family. How we doing out there, right? A happy new year and a happy January 7th to everybody. This Tuesday, January 27th in the year 2025, right? For some of us in the family, I have to recognize this because I want to put this on the table, right, as we start here. Of course, welcome in us, the 1,000+ strong, ever rising, right? Ever rising, us who know, us who know, who believe in. Knowing something does not mean that you know it all, ladies and gentlemen. Can I be quite honest? In this new year, we're going to have to get past that. In this new time, right? This new season, this winter season, we're going to have to get past that. This is not, nobody, including me, nobody knows it all. Unfortunately, something that happens in a lot of these beliefs of the world is that we get into this thing where we think we all know it all. No one knows all knowledge. We know what we have seen. We know what we have been shown. We know what we have been taught. But there is more, right? See, again, the idea you think you know it all is not, that's a dangerous place to be, right? I like to get myself, when we're talking about getting ourselves around people that help us, that encourage us, right? This is a very serious thing. Get yourself around people who enlighten that which is inside you, man. I know for our Christian brothers and sisters say they got some issues, man. They got some issues when it comes to folks that look at things in a different light, and that's all right. I think the problem comes in when we become judgmental. Where we become very mass-alike, and we got to start slinging and slanging, throwing and banging insults and verses. It turns into, as a term I heard was very apropos, is Bible wars, right? Everybody got their Bible. They look like they're some Jedi or Sith from Star Wars, and they just swinging away, man. That behavior is gross in the sight of the Maker. Right? Because that's not what this is about. This is one of the reasons why on this podcast I present the information, right? Again, we gotta, conflict resolution is huge. I was in a couple conversations here. Before I get started on all that, welcome in us, family, who are the 1,000+ strong, who know, love, believe in, seek and search for, hunger and thirst after that which is a different view. Family, welcome in. Today's topic is going to be on the month of January. We're going to go over the things. I thought I did it last year. I kind of caught it right in the middle of the year, going over the months, right? It's a good thing that we do that, right? Remember the time, right? This isn't just a song from Michael Jackson. Do you remember? Anyway, right? This is about knowing that which you live in, right? This world we live in, we are so, for different people groups, different beliefs, man. Again, it's been said, we're so heavenly minded, we're no earthly good. That's very real. Shout out to charismatic Christians one time, man. They put the thing on the world stage. See, like, as far as our big old word, liturgical, right? Just dealing with those who, matter of fact, let's break down that word liturgy here for 2 seconds, just 2 seconds, because we ain't going to take much time up with this. Again, as we have talked about before, these are things that are already kind of known. Unfortunately, excuse me, one side's going to stay stuck, and it is what it is. I really do suggest that I know people don't believe in it, but there is something somewhere in the middle, and we go from there, right? So, liturgy, a form or formulary, according to which public religious, this is from Oxford's Dictionary, a form or formulary, according to which public religious worship, especially Christian worship, is conducted. So, like, for instance, and this, Keep this in mind, y'all, when those, like say Buddhists, Hinduists, and a lot of them know it. A lot of them know it. A lot of this, the cat's already out the bag, right? And this is why I say some of these conversations, see, again, the thing is supposed to give you profit. If it's not giving you any profit, and we're not going to look up the word profit. Well, yeah. So when we talk on profit, y'all, I mean, this especially going in this new year, man, right? Now, and the way they put this, yeah. We'll say this. This is coming from let's see, like the Chamber of Commerce, NetSuite. People who look at money and stuff like that. So, the amount of money a business earns after subtracting its total expenses from its total revenue, right? Business, the gain and loss, the money that the net in you, that's profit, right? So you're gonna have gains, you're gonna have some losses, but at the end of the day, what is that gain? If you gained anything, that's the profit. We got to start doing stuff for profit. Let's look a little bit closer. In Merriam-Webster's dictionary, a valuable return. Again, the word gain pops up. Excess. The excess of returns over, again, this is re-saying the same thing. Over expenditure in a transaction or a series of transactions, especially. Again, where's your gain? The Bible talks about it. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world, lose their soul, right? Again, we've already read your verses last year that deal in this idea that when you talk, when you have your stuff, when you say things, when you do things, it's supposed to give you profit. This world was made for it to profit people. Now, because there is balance. This is a thing that folks just they just go they go left or right, whichever way you want to look at it, right? Especially for our governmental folks out there, left and right. We done named how we think left and right. This is how we think. But I digress. Actually, before we get started here, before we get too far, and let me just shut the sound off. Your boy forgets, right? It's got to profit you. And this banter we keep going back and forth over. The one topic I got into is whether salvation and baptism are one and the same, not one and the same. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, before we continue down this road, now I understand in certain sections this actually means something to folks. So we're not knocking that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, y'all, are you saved? Or are you not? Okay. See, again, we got to complicate the thing, but God has made this very simple. The maker has made this very simple, y'all. The creator, right? Shout out to our native brothers and sisters one time. The great spirit has made this very simple. And humans coming over here with the wild imaginations in their mind, unchecked, untrained, uncentered, unbalanced, has made this very complicated. It doesn't matter what topic it is. Right? It don't matter dating. It doesn't matter eating. It doesn't matter sex. It doesn't matter drinking. The things that help promote life. And those are some of the things that do. Right? I was just looking at a thing yesterday. And, it was a topic that I'd heard, but I had put no attention to it. And shame on me for not doing that, right? This whole idea with what happened in New Orleans a couple days ago. Shout out to the city. Well, excuse me, the state of Louisiana, the city of New Orleans, Bourbon Street, where people think it makes sense. Kids, young people trying to have fun, man. Cyndi Lauper couldn't have made a more apropos song, man. I know us super Uber. That's the word. Shout out to Europe one time, right? Uber. I believe is a German-based word. I could be wrong, right? Us uber or over the top responsible people. Y'all don't know how to have fun. You let it go. Okay. Pick it up again, man. It helps. Again, that's part of balance. There's responsibility and fun. That's a balance, y'all. Right? And these are things we have gone over before on this podcast, but so be it, because we gotta, again, you repeat in order to learn. Repetition is necessary for learning, y'all. Right? Watch out for your babies. Watch out for yourself on this road, man. Is again, like we said, wild imaginations are in the mind of people, man. I think it was Rihanna made a song back in the day, something about wild thoughts. The mind, I've heard it a certain way, and this is very, very true, ladies and gentlemen, Christian brothers and sisters. Y'all can go a little wild with it if you want to with me. That's fine. We already know a lot of the people in the world don't have this problem. It's just Christians that do, man. Yeah. Again, all is the mind, and the universe is mental. In your mind, lady. And again, for me, very true, just from my background, man, from what has been created and given to people, man, this is where people are, see, as a person thinks in their heart, in your mind, ladies and gentlemen. Before I get going, man. And this is where this is, man. I'm not holding on to no traditions that came from somebody in some church somewhere a long time ago, thinking that they know it all. Okay, we're talking about humbly going after that which goes after us. And when you get a hold of that kind of thing, it changes how you look at stuff. I'm not looking at everything as concrete. I know there are certain absolutes in this world. Yes, I know that. Right? Yes, we know that, family, right? But some of these things that we keep holding on to that are causing nothing but division. It's not the other group that's causing the division. So, for instance, the church in England, right? Again, where we get the Catholic Church from. I like going away from that word because that word means more of a universal thing. When you're talking to church in England, you're doing things to use Holy Scripture to hold people down. So when you got the Protestant movement, when you got the Reformist movement, we're talking about coming away from a thing, reforming something, protesting against something. And this is normally right about the time. We're talking about these defenses in the mind, y'all, right? Not nothing, no holiness, not nothing, no tradition, none of these words that's being used. We're just saying what it is. Take this for what you want, y'all. Okay? At the end of the day, where is the part that's bringing folks together? And where is the part that's separating people? When it comes to baptism, I know this is going to rattle feathers, and that's fine. Oh, you oversimplifying it, Kate. Okay. Okay, man. Hey. If you want to keep being locked up in forever battle, man, go for it. That's not how the Maker made this. That is not how the Maker made this, right? So it's just some things there, ladies and gentlemen, right? Can we find the common ground, right? I know. That's unholy talk, right? I know. But for as long, there's a pattern to things in life, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about that before. And in this pattern, when something happens, something good or bad happens. It's connected. There's a reward and consequence, right? These arguments, fruitless arguments we've been having, only lead to more division. I'm not making it up. I'm looking at what's happening historically. You have these divisions because part of the argument is not unifying. Part of the discussion is nothing that's, again, people can have two polar opposites on something and still operate in love toward each other. But what you watch normally, which is a very telling thing with our Christian brothers and sisters, is that the thing becomes divisive. And I know this, this argument also gets into our Muslim brothers and sisters and our Jewish brothers and sisters. Again, belief, it gets a little weird. It gets again, look for the things where the unification is and let God above judge and sort out the rest, right? So let's get into this month. What is the month of January? January. Of course, we already know about that, which is January 20th, and I'm not talking about Inauguration Day. Listen, when we talking about our master system, man, and these presidents in this government that is clearly set to keep someone at the bottom, yeah, and some people groups at the bottom, and someone or some people groups at the top, you got to take that with a grain of salt. I don't say these things to be popular, ladies and gentlemen, right? You're talking about a government that was okay with our dear black sisters. See, again, there's something else that's going on January 20th that day, right? This is normally the part in the mind where people shut off because of that defense that has been put there for you to not listen to the pain of somebody else in your life. And it resonates. Again, we in romantic season, right? So we're gonna talk about relationships. It's relationship season. Okay. There are some things here that we gotta let it go. You gotta let it go, man. They programmed you. Hey. Look. You can call it conspiracy. Ain't nothing secret about it. There ain't no secret plot. What is your Bible tells you? What is secret comes out in the open. Ain't nothing secret going on. You have an open enemy. You have an adversary. You got somebody opposite to you in their mind. From unfortunately what someone has taught them also giving themselves over to the dark side that is in them. This ain't just some Star Wars thing. This is a real thing. Shout out to Asian brothers and sisters one time who talk about, teach, and preach dualism. Again, we get too stuck on the thing. It's this type of idea about dualism shown in the Bible, especially in James, where it's talking about doing things that I should not and would not. That's two things warring against it. Never mind. Right? So we gotta get a hold of it, man. This inauguration thing, you just talking about supporting this system. I'm good. Unless you got government officials and presidents and all this kinds of things, that means serious wellness for the people and the citizens of the United States. If we just keeping up this division, send the Mexican back. Send the Mexican back. Do you know how much of this land is Mexico? Never mind. This is the part we skip over. No, KJ, that was back then. I know. Do you think, ain't anybody watched the movie Poltergeist? Do you think just because you do the wrong on the Holy Land and these people are made by God, right? See our Christian brothers and sisters, we miss the thing, right? Chasing after traditions and all this mess. You do something that reverberates, y'all. We living in history. You see your dark-skinned brother and sister. I had a chance to watch Moana 2 and my wife, man, shout out to you, honey. Thank you for going with me to see this movie, man. Moana 2. Y'all can keep talking about that thing with Disney. And they playing up to this, that. Yeah, on a certain level they are. And we may down the road get into the word exploitation, because this is the topic that we're talking about when we're talking about our transgender, homosexual brothers and sisters, also black, and our dark skin and tan, or was as called copper tone brothers and sisters down here, right? That sick word mulatto that was made. Calling people mules. Nope. Nope. No, our mixed brothers and sisters are blessed humans, no different than anybody else, right? This is at the heart of the matter here. I'm done on the semantics part, because you can do that till the cows come home. But the real thing is in how we operate, how we express back to that which has been given to us, y'all. And us has been given to us to dress and keep, just the same as this planet. And we lost it and let it go by following massa and greed, right? No way. Damn that. It's time for something else, right? A lot of things have been exploited. We get that. Again, the thing is about this is why we talk about, if you're tired of watching the thing at Disney, again, the same aspects need to be spoken on. So when you get to I don't want to spoil this for folks. I really don't, man. So if you want to watch Moana 2, there is a scene at the end of Moana 2 that is talking about bringing people together. Does anybody in the house today, family in the village today, does anybody know about bringing people together? This is the part. Yeah, you can have different beliefs all over the place, but we talking about land masses. We talking about people groups down here that, again, in order to take land and take resources and take control from someone else, you got to make the thing look like they are wrong, and that is of the highest evil. January. Get back on January. National Wellness Month, okay? National Wellness Month. This one coming from journalnews.net. There's actually a few places where you can find this. Let me see here. One moment. Yeah, the Journal. Let me just make sure. So the Journal, Department of Human Services, right? Bureau of Behavioral Health. and this is West Virginia's deal, joins national efforts. I'm reading this January 2nd, 2025, where they recognize January as Mental Wellness Month. Of course, people, in the spring, I believe it's May, where, national wellness. But again, they doubled down on it. I wonder why. Can we read something that deals with some mental health, mental wellness is a little bit out of balance, y'all? Do you know what state is the highest? My God, help us, man. Help us, man. This is where the real is. I don't care about none of that other mess we talking about. If I'm saved, I'm saved. We ain't going there. But we talking about that thing where it shows fruits and works, right? To our Christian brothers and sisters. To other people that already got past a lot of these other things, and it is what it is, right? We all believe different things here, and there's a part here that that literally where we can live in unity, right? We can live in different parts of the world, believe different things and do stuff, but we live in unity, right? Where there is harm and great evil and great hurts, we can come together and help each other, right? Okay, so what state has the highest domestic violence rate? That's what you ask your phone computer. Do you know what comes up, ladies and gentlemen? We talking about, studying us. This is what I like about history. There is no bias. This is what's going on. Okay. According to comprehensive investigation, which can always continue, right? Some of these links, the Department of Human Services. You got one from Dolan Zimmerman, LLP. There's a whole lot that's been studying this thing, man. This is why we talk about this thing with black folks and the rate of which you have single parent homes. Stop blaming the man when you are impregnating that woman with your seed during the time of some good times, right? Again, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Yeah. There's a way that it's said. We're going to be very bold. We're going to be very bold and plain right now. Dropping, how is the term said? Dropping pole till it's swole, right? Okay. There's a whole lot of stuff that can be going on wherever you doing your going on, right? But at the end of the day, when that time comes, we know, right? Or maybe we're going to keep playing ourselves like we don't know. 49.1%. What state hits the top? Oklahoma. Indian Territory. Let's put some respect on it, right? I know the name, right? Even the name Oklahoma has a native thought process to it. We'll leave, a native origin. We'll leave that alone, though, right? Oklahoma. Almost 50% of the women, this is for the women, the men at 40%. Is it WWE out here, ladies and gentlemen, or what? I'm talking about WWE. Oh, man. AEW and Ring of Honor and all this other kind of stuff. Y'all, family, if you love wrestling, man, don't let corporate America take it from you. We're talking about exploitation, man. Just the fan, right? It's the same thing with comic books and movies and stuff, which again, next month, can't wait to see Black Captain America. I know folks are okay with America being white. We talking about people groups living here before Europe came calling. You're going to have to square away with that in your heart, mind, and spirit. Talking the 1800s, my granddaddy, and to our white brothers and sisters, please do not take this as drop the offense. We are talking about what is going on. What we was taught was pseudo. While those great griggity greats were on these lands, they were being held down and kept away from at least 3 other groups of peoples we know historically. You're going to have to square away with that. That already sets up the foundation for some wild mess that we now see today. And then they wanted to come out with the GI Bill for the soldier later on in life. Again, we're talking historical things. Did you think the black brother and sister, do you think the so-called black brother and sister had a moment of peace to be able to get anything? You're involved in a system that has got to keep groups down to elevate others. Is that right? Just questions. These are just questions, ladies and gentlemen. Kentucky is number 2 at 45%. We may want to think on this wherever we're moving, right? Well, good and bad happens all over. Yeah, I know. But there's some things here that you have to be aware of when you get, hey, man, just saying. Nevada's 43, Alaska's 43, Arizona's 42, Indiana's 42, South Carolina's 42. The Midwest and the South, huh? Yeah, we know. Y'all got the hotbed for that. It was a shame in order for black women to get their freedom, their manumissions. Remember that word, manumissions, just a big old one for freedom. From being held down, making money for somebody else and not for themselves. That clearly they also learned this from the church. When you look at 18th century England, again, the group of people coming over here, because this is how you get Ellis Island and all these folks was coming here with this kind of thinking. The Pope signing off on it for, at least as we know, 400 years earlier, with papal bulls saying that slavery was right. My God, help us, man. Well, we got more to talk about than if the works of salvation and baptism are a thing, then they're supposed to come out in the actions, and it ain't. It ain't coming out in the actions, y'all. Illinois, this is all what this podcast is. I'm done on this old school semantical. It's not correlating into regular life. It's not. You know, some of these states that we're naming, this part of the Bible Belt, ain't it? Church on every corner. Highest domestic rate. What you think is going on behind the scenes? No, KJ. Yeah. No, I know what people. Again, we talking the defenses in the mind, y'all. Missouri is at 41. Illinois is at 41. Washington is at 41. That's for the women. As a man, and I understand women beat on women too, and you have homosexual relationships where these things go violent as well. Again, by the time that happens, get out that house, y'all. When we talk about staying together after infidelity and cheating occurs, when violence and stuff like this is happening, I don't want people getting me wrong, man. When violence and stuff like this is happening to people's family members, to people's babies, right? Do what is possible to live in peace. Ain't that what the Bible tells you, right? Men, Oklahoma. Again, 47 people just, we just beating up each other all day, man. Hey, I know that you get out in these prairie states, right, with the Great Plains states, as they call. I know tumbleweeds is blowing, people trying to get to safer, higher ground, right, as that song from Stevie Wonder's made. What a powerful song it is, right? At the end of the day, you come out to open land. Is this what's on the mind, y'all? Mental health? Of course, mental health has to be, sit in that chair. Sit in that chair and let the goodness and the wholeness of understanding where we have gotten a lot of this mess we have gotten from, wash our minds from just hurting each other unnecessarily, man, because that's where it is. Next, cervical cancer awareness. Lord, bless the blessed woman. Robbed of having children, robbed of her own health, mentally, what that happens. Again, we're talking your teammate, gentlemen. You want to hook your wagon, right? You're going to have to bring that oil and wine, man. People are hurting. And this happens the opposite way around. Another one of these defenses in the mind. Can we please let it go when we talk about one specific group that we're just not, the other one don't exist? This because again, that was set up by Massa, and that's not a real thing. There is, as we have spoken on this podcast, general and specific speech. When we're talking specifically on the women, I'm not letting go of the man, okay? But we got to talk about the woman. Cervical cancer, right? Just the dysfunction in the body, where growths and such it's robbing of that joy and that fullness of life, right? Get yourself checked out. Again, as we talk about the things that help with cancer, right? Antioxidants. Take of this good earth. I know it's wintertime and they ain't growing just yet. This is another thought that's out there as far as the new year is concerned, is that technically, as you look at the months, when you take off the off December and November, they deal with 9 and 10. So then technically, if that's the case, December would be the 10th month. The 11th month is January. The 12th month is February. So then we're just explaining the thought process out there. So March is technically 1, right? Now, when you think about it as far as a new year, right, you would think a new year, there's new growth. I understand we're dealing with Julian Gregorian calendars. We've talked about that on this podcast, just a little bit. Again, when you're getting into how people have messed with time here, that's just as expansive and just as a telling topic as it is the governments, how people are ruling over each other, right? But again, as things grow, right? This is another one of these things here in this part of this month before things are growing, where people are dealing with serious things. We gotta understand, man. Life is rough, man. It's rough. Like this mess that happened in New Orleans, man. Pray for your brothers and sisters out in New Orleans, man. Right? It's a real thing. National Soup Month. It's cold out there, so we're talking about antioxidants and all that kind of thing. So I know, right? Soup. Normally, we kind of some images in the mind that we relate with soups here, especially Star Wars, right? And their family, Luke and his adopted family. They're all sitting there, kind of eating whatever, and it's looking blue and green, and a lot of that is in the mind with soup, right? But man, y'all find out the different soups in this world, man. We're not going to do it for time's sake, but find out these different soups in this world. Of course, we know about chicken. There's so many, man. So many soups, so many stews. Let that goodness, man, wash away, right? Help preserve your body. Maybe even help you, even though these things happen anyway. Maybe even help, ladies. Again, as a man, I'm only talking so much as I know as a man, right? Help. Find help from wherever you can physically for your body, right? Meat month. This was an interesting one to see. All right, that's National Meat Month. National Meat Month. Okay. Again, I think this is just a time to get in love with the earth, man. Get in love with the earth, right? This is JAS Worldwide is the source for this one here. Protein, chicken. I know while they keep playing around with all this GMO weird made things, there's a lot of those different articles you can look at where they're dealing with meat, right? Again, we're going to have to get to a point of a homestead kind of thing, talking about the European and their family members on the in the territory called the United States, on the landmass that is North America, right? At the end of the day, check your meat sources, y'all. Check your meat sources, man. We gotta put the proteins that are necessary for the body to do its thing, right? And incorporating it as such. We understand this is not knocking our vegetarian brothers and sisters, our pescatarian brothers and sisters. We get it, okay? But we just saying that which are the nutrients. And yes, you can find nutrients in other things. We understand that. Again, this is not knocking this kind of thing here. Okay, but for those who eat meats, let's get it good. Let's get them preservatives there to hold it down. Don't oversalt your meat. Again, there's a certain thing where you gotta keep it preserved. We understand, but that sodium count is, and Lord knows with black folks and stuff like that, especially with chicken and fried chicken, we don't need all that high sodium. Not already when our bodies already have issues and dysfunctions, if you want to say it that way, where it comes to heart health. So you're going to have to keep that sodium and that sugar in check. Much of this we learn how to eat. It's not in our actual, I won't call it programming, but it's not in our actual mind to eat. It's how we were taught how to eat. There's two different things, right? So we got to get in touch with ourselves. Hot tea month. Drink tea. Clearly you can hear from my throat, right? I need my voice. I need to drink more tea, and I have been, and it's something we're gonna put into play throughout the year. These drinks and stuff out here, y'all. We already know about water and how they mess with water, right? Why do we even need to be having a lot of this mess that's out here? I get it and want to have it a little bit here and there. We go to like a soda factory and all this kinds of stuff, but we already know, right? Oatmeal month, kind of self-explanatory. We'll go on, right? There's benefits to oats. There's health benefits, fiber benefits. There's benefits to oats, y'all. Oatmeal. That this ain't like you 50, 60. Shout out to our 50, 60-year-old family members one time right on the podcast, right? Get used to it, man. It's good for you at 20, 10, all that stuff, man. Anyway, be kind to food servers month. We need to start being kind in general, man. Again, like we start off the open of this podcast, we need to start being kind in general. In general. In general. Lord. You wouldn't have a job without me. You wouldn't be serving yourself food either, right? Without them. Can we get past that? It's one thing if you're talking about actual, true, bad service to you. Like we talked about that story I heard from a healthcare perspective, where a woman was pregnant, couldn't get the certain care that she needed, and nurses and people and doctors to hear her while she was in pain in an extended labor. Every labor don't happen in 15 minutes. Some women's labor is extended. Okay, everybody's body is different, so on and so forth. There's very many different reasons why. Okay. We're gonna and let me see where we're at. 35 minutes. This may go for about 10 minutes more, y'all. My apologies here, but again, these are subjects that we got to talk about. Okay, like Cody Rhodes talks about, right? Talking about WWE, man. Raw on Netflix was kind of cool. It's weird that it's on Netflix. There's a lot of pandering with The Rock and all this kind of stuff, and then him promoting Moana too, and that movie, the end of that movie was way too important to be turning it into a Hollywood thing. But I digress, right? I digress. Be kind to your food servers. You can be kind to the retail worker, right? We're going to have to start being kind to every service provided, y'all. Stop thinking we hot stuff because we coming in there with a good boatload of money or whatever it is, or very little money or medium-sized amount of money. Man, listen, this is one hand washes the other. Isn't that what we're told? Train your dog month, Lord. Help me say it, man. Help me say it. Some dog owners, of which I'm one. Y'all may or may not have heard Fiona on the podcast there, right? Shaking around and everything. Okay. Dog, listen. In him we move, live, and have our being, right? This is what we're taught from a Christian perspective, correct? Okay. Temper that with the fact that you got to train up your child, right? In the way they should go. We miss over some words there in that verse, man. It's the same thing with the dogs. Listen. You cut down on your dog fighting. You will cut down on you will help your dog's health, especially when it comes to food and stuff. We feed them just as much as we feed ourselves, which is way too much. I'm just saying what it is. I know it's going to rattle the brain. I get it. This goes for cats too, man. Even though this says dogs, animal owners, right? Let's love and train on our pets, man. It's one thing to just let them go around and, it's a kid. Listen, you got a responsibility when you pick up that dog out the kennel or when you pick it from the breeder or wherever, right? There's a responsibility with that too. Way too much stuff that goes sideways. Everybody want to run up and pet these dogs. Just look at it, be like, oh, it's nice, and just keep on going. By the time you get close, you got to be careful, y'all, right? And that ain't the time then to go putting down Fido because humans acting stupid. Can we be honest? Right? Can we be honest? We take too many liberties where we shouldn't. So National Train Your Dog Month, right? Adopt a Rescued Bird Month. Okay. You know, that's cool. That's cool, right? Next, Clean Up Your Computer Month. And this is not like removing porn stuff off your computer, although if you use it as a public thing, people probably don't want to see, what genre of sexual activity you like watching. Okay. Again, on this podcast, I'm not downing. We have to, I don't want to say normalize, but we got to re-educate ourselves where it comes to sex. Again, it is one of the entities that's down here on this planet for us to use in responsibility. So again, this may be a thing. If you got a public computer, nobody wants to be seeing what you're looking at, right? Find somewhere else to do that, okay? It's a real thing. It's just a responsibility because, again, it's a public used computer, right? Braille Literacy Month. Okay, this goes out to our vision impaired brothers and sisters, right? The blind, as they use the word, right? Again, vision impaired doesn't mean you have to be fully blind either. Okay. Let's not throw them aside. Let's not cast them aside, y'all. The ability, the invention of Braille when it came out way, way, way back when. I'm not going to get into when. This is just for time's sake, okay? It's a very real thing. Teach those who have vision impaired how to read, man. They got to read. They got to read to know this life around them. That's real. Even for those who can see with both eyes very clearly. Literacy is a very serious thing. Especially when you got people groups causing other ones to not want to in that sense, even though that's part of the topic. But I mean, as far as couldn't, like legally, not allowed to read. Literacy is missing. Anyway, Blood Donor Month. There are times that we need to donate. There are times that we need to donate blood to save a life, y'all. Right? Here's this bigger one here, National Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month. I guess maybe, after the abolishing, as his term, abolition, right? I guess slavery and human trafficking just don't go on no more, right, y'all? Said this is from state.gov, so this is official tissue, as we have said before. National Human Take the slavery part off. Let's see. This one is coming from a couple. Administration of Families and Children and Families that have to deal with this mess. Children have to deal with this. Lord, God bless the kids, man. I know we like to down the youth, but again, your future, you should stop downing your future so much. That thought came to my mind, man. When we're dead and gone, we need to stop downing it and start empowering our future. Anyway, New York State Coalition Against Domestic Violence. This is another website where this comes up. Again, I want to say DOD, Department of Defense, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And it is a defense, right? Human trafficking is a sex crime. Now they put slavery in there. Again, we can keep ducking and dodging around the slavery part of it, but it's slave-like thing here. Human trafficking never mind, right? Because slavery was never mind. Human trafficking is a crime in which force, fraud, or coercion is used to compel a person to perform, this is right off their website, to perform labor, services, or commercial sex. Again, we're talking about using sex improperly. Force. Never mind. We'll let people's minds connect the dots there. There's a difference between force. Never mind. Right? It affects all populations. See, again, the thing you're uncomfortable with does not mean it's wrong. It means it's wrong for you. Right? Anyway. All populations, adults, children, men, women, foreign nationals, U.S. citizens, and all economic classes. The Defense Department continues to raise awareness and do its part to end this crime. Now, again, for some of our brothers and sisters on the podcast, they may or may not believe whether your government is really involved in, the same government that started it, right? Never mind, man. People can correct their ways, right? If you truly believe a thing about your government, they could correct their ways, right? Again, if government is done for, through, and by people, then people are making government. That means we can correct our ways, can't we? Oh, yes, we can. National Stalking Awareness. Men and ladies specifically, right? Yeah, some creepos out there, man. Walk in groups when you can. Keep protection on you. We just keeping it 100, man. We just keeping it 100. These weirdos out here, man. No, if you can't approach a woman or a man correctly today, man, I feel sorry for you, right? Shout out to Jay-Z. That may be one of your 99 problems. All right. Next, 3 left on this list here. National Hobby Month. This is real. we got to get used to something else other than them four walls that we keep working at. We probably should be singing, I've been working on the railroad. We probably should be, because there's more, or just transpose out the word railroad for whatever you're doing. Because they got you working on that plantation, man. Hobby month. But the railroad was needed, KJ, for us to get around. Yeah, man, that's rough. It's rough. It is rough, the defenses in the mind, man. Yeah, National Hobby Month, man, whether it's bird watching, baseball card collecting, Funko Pop collecting. Of course, we want to do these things in some sort of collecting is a hobby, right? We want to do these things in responsibility. We want to blow your paycheck on all this collecting, right? But get yourself involved in something else other than the doldrums of this life, man. It'll give you life. It'll give you happiness. It helps you on the road of which that is your purpose. They've got polka music month, okay? I always like, now, of course, polka's on here. I always like to go a little further and just, again, music. Right? It's good music observance. I'm sure there's probably a music observance month. I don't know. We should be observing music every day, technically. Again, there's an energy there that we need, right? There's an energy there that we need. It's a good time to bring up this verse. It's a good time, right? Let's see. Yeah. Let's see if I can bring up this verse right here. My apologies on the dead air they talk about with music, right? Yeah, Ephesians. Now, it's said in a couple of different ones, so we're going to read Ephesians. This I wanted to bring this out here with the word edify, because we got to start encouraging each other, man. Edification is a real thing now. It's a real thing. Both you yourself can do it, and you can do it with other people. So now in this, we have gone over this verse before, especially talking about husbands loving their wives, because, everything. But earlier in the chapter of Ephesians 5, right, again, these are things going on the Mediterranean side of the world. Okay, that's not to say everything. That's not to say that's the only place where there was people. Okay, please detach that from your mind. People was all over this planet. Okay, 80, 60, 80, 100 people was going. People was moving and grooving. Okay, it's because you don't see a historical record of it, or because the historical record has been hidden from folks, does not mean that people weren't moving and grooving along the whole of the planet. Okay. Speaking to yourselves, do not be drunk with wine. This is verse 18, right? Matter of fact, let's go a little further back, because again, people have this issue with what is the good, acceptable, and perfect will of God, right? Wherefore, we'll continue to get into it. Matter of fact, we can go into man. Oh, geez, this verse is try not to go too wild here, because we're already like 40 some odd minutes in here. All things that are reproved are manifest by the light. It's important to read, because we started off this whole thing talking about disagreements and such, right? And talking about the realness of it. It's made manifest by the light. It's shown. There's a response here that has, again, rewards and consequences. Whatever you do, make for whatsoever doth maketh. King James speech, right? For whatsoever doth make manifest is light, or for whatever is manifested is light. Now, there is the reverse of this, because what you see manifest can also be dark, right? Wherefore he said, awake thou that sleepest. Stay woke, y'all, right? Yeah, have a problem with woke for as much as you want to, but your Bible is telling you to get woke. Now, the definitions of woke here are the problem. The definition of woke is the problem, but it's time to get woke, y'all. Wake up. All right, I'm not saying this. The Bible is, right? Arise. It's a thought process in life anyway. Get aware of yourself. Arise from the dead, and Christ shall give you light. See then that you walk circumspectly. We know about circumcision, right? Our Jewish brothers and sisters know about it. It's something that is carried over into culture across the planet. Some do, some don't, as far as circumcision is concerned. Again, the cutting away Get rid of the excess, y'all, right? Not as fools. We're going to get into that word fool one day, because I want to take away the spook off of it. But as wise, redeem the time. So that's a very interesting thought. This is verse 16. Redeem the time because the days are evil. Quite clear. Full of greed, full of hate, full of despise, full of overt just mess doing to people, meddling with people's lives. No good. No good. Redeem that. Buy it back. And we've spoken on it before, how you do it. Be kind, right? We just read that. This month's giving us a time to redeem some time back. Anyway, wherefore do not be unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. Okay, what could it be? Again, a lot when you read this is explaining the next thing before the thing you just read, or after the thing you just read. Okay, be not drunk with wine wherein is excess. Not with the comma, and no, that's not what the comma means, KJ. Again, this is what excess. Don't be excessively drunk. Now, you can take that to everything in life, right? But be filled with the Spirit. Again, with the essence, with life. Look at the life in the thing. Drink wine, y'all, for your health. Again, talking about health, right? Something that our Catholic brothers and sisters don't have a problem doing during communion, and other divisions, denominations, however you want to look at that, right? There's health essence to red wine for your heart, for your body in general, right? Speak to yourselves in psalm, hymn, and spiritual song, singing, and making melody in your heart unto the Lord. We, ladies and gentlemen, are going to put the pause and stop there as we read this last one here from what is the national month of January. It's also skating month. It's the ice. Now, of course, do this on where ice is icy. Okay, so you're not falling through and stuff, but skate. If that's something that's down with you, get moving. It could be on your bike. It could be whatever. Get moving. Get the atoms. Get moving. Right. You can put I put dance in here. I know it's skating, but get moving. Right, y'all. As the verse goes, in him we move, live, and have our being. Yeah, right. So family, that's what I got for you today. That's the month of January. We had to do 2 episodes, right? Clearly. We had to do 2 episodes for that one, bro. So again, thank you very much, family, for walking this road with me. Wrestling fans, stand up one time, man, because corporate wrestling's it's a little much, man. It's a little much, right? Shout out to Moana 2, right? The Golden Globes, I really didn't get into that, but it's cool to see some recognition of again, movies like Moana, TV shows like Agatha All Along, so on and so forth, y'all. We're talking about that, which has been held down a little bit too long, right? So thank y'all very much for walking this road with me, family. And as always, and until next time, look to find the beauty in a different view.